Okay, this is a continuation for lesson 12-5 notes, equations of circles, where this is a little bit more advanced here. We're going to write the equation of a circle. There it is listed there. And what you're going to need to do is using completing the square to figure out what the center is and what the radius is. So if you look at your typical equation of a circle, you see the parentheses squared plus parentheses squared is equal to radius squared. This equation, you don't see those parentheses. So we're going to use completing the square to get those parentheses. Now, one of the first things you got to do with completing squares is kind of set up the x's. So I've got x squared minus 6x. I'm going to actually put a little space here. I'm going to figure out what this unknown c value is. Then I've got a plus y squared plus 2y. I'm going to put another space here. We'll do this in pink. We're going to figure out what this number is in a moment, is equal to. Now this -5 here, we don't really need this, so we're going to add it to the other side of the equal sign. So 0 plus 5 is 5. And whatever we add here in yellow, we need to add it on the other side of the equal sign. Whatever we add here in pink, we also need to add that to the other side. So I'm kind of setting myself up. I'm going to figure out what the c value. I'm going to do completing the square twice. One for the x, one for the y. Now hopefully you remember how to do the completing the square. To figure out this c value, you take the b value, divide it by 2, and then square that result. So 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 3 squared is 9. Well, 6 divided by 2 is actually -3, but -3 squared goes back to +9. And that's what you're going to do there. You also need to add 9 to the other side of the equal sign, otherwise things won't be equal. Now let's look at the y portion. Here's the c value that we're going to try to figure out. You take the b value, which is 2, divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. So we'll put a +1 here. Now why did we do this? Because it allows us to create these perfect squares that are in parentheses. This x value here is going to be x times x. What number multiplied by itself is 9, and also that same exact number adds up to -6. Well, that's -3. -3 times -3 is 9. -3 plus -3 is 6. It's a perfect square. It's kind of the same idea with the y's. This creates a perfect square. What number times itself is 1, and the same numbers add up to 2. Well, that would be +1. 5 plus 9 is 14, plus another 1 is 15. Okay. Moving on. So now what is the centerpiece? The centerpiece, now again, the formula is -8. So the center is not +3. It's not -3. It's actually, the center is +3, comma, -1. In order for this to turn to a plus sign, the center had to have been a -1 next to a negative. The radius here is the square root of 15, which is about 3 point something something something. But that would be the radius, okay? Because this really represents r squared. So to get r by itself, you've got to take the square root of 15. And that is it.